Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up number 103. We are here today playing a $20 buy-in tournament on ultimatepoker.com. That's right, multi-table tournament Mondays, MTT Mondays here on Run It Up. I felt like this was a good thing to play. I was going to actually play cash. I actually set out today to play like a shorter, sweet kind of a session. Let's just put one on the books, I figured. But there was no games running, and this tournament was running. This is actually early enough in the day today that these things still run. So I figured, hey, why not? And here we are. So this is the second hand of the tournament. I just folded the first one for me. We did late reg a little bit. So this guy defended pre-flop and then just check called, and now here we are. So we have two routes. We can either check back and then probably call most rivers, or we can bet turn and check back most rivers. I think I'm actually going to just check back here. I'm a little afraid of him being like stronger than me. I don't think he has a flush too often, but I think it's possible he has a hand like ace-queen or ace-10, something like that. It's kind of hard to imagine that he has a hand. I don't know the guy at all, so we're making assumptions off of a random player here, and I think that he could have us. It's hard to imagine what hands he has that we are behind. That we are ahead of. I mean, we did play our hand rather passively and like weakly. I mean, we played our hand as though we had nothing. We just bet flop and then check back turn. So maybe I should have called river, but it just seems hard to imagine that he's going to defend something pre-flop, call on the flop, and then pot the river. There's not too many hands, I think, that play that way that we end up beating. So I think it's a tight but correct fold for me. Whenever I feel like I should fold, if I'm even in the ballpark of folding, it's probably the right thing to do. So let that one go there. Maybe he bluffed us. He probably didn't. Three of a kind here. Limped pot, so really rolling in the money here. Guy in the pickle jar decides to check. Not too surprising. Okay. Hippopotamus over here decides to give us the old pot size bet again. So I guess we're going to call. I think if we check raise, he's going to just fold too often. So I'd rather call and pretend we have like a 3 or like, something that's not so great. Maybe with any luck, our opponent turns a pair and we can beat that pretty well. So there's that. So I think this is a really good spot for us to check against a guy like this. I mean, I think we're going to give him an opportunity to try to bluff us. We're clearly not folding. I'm not going to raise either. I'm only going to call. So, I don't think there's any argument to be made for anything besides calling. He decides to check back, though, and I'm pretty sure we win this hand. All right, so we win one, we lose one. I don't think we played. I think we played both very reasonably in some universe. I think it's fine. So here we are trying to run it up today. The bankroll is about $922. We've been slapped around a little bit, but it happens, variance, etc. I don't feel too bad about it. It's not exactly right because I haven't added the Moon Girl session yet. I just didn't go through that, but there's only like a $5 or max $10 difference. So no big deal. We're going to try to grind it up. No worries there. The plan for this week is we're probably going to do, I actually have a couple of cool things in mind for this week. I have a video type that we've never done before, if not more than one that we've never done before. Innovation this week here on Run It Up, apparently. So I have a couple different ideas for videos that I've wanted to try, and I feel like the right people are in town to make it happen. So going to try to do that. There may not be a video tomorrow. I'm actually planning on playing some live poker, actually. I know. Who would think that I would do such a thing? But yeah, that is the plan. So I think that I'm not necessarily saying there won't be a video tomorrow, but especially if this one runs late, I might not do a video tomorrow because that session that I'll be playing I don't know when I'll be done. If I start at noon and I'm still playing at 3 in the morning, there'll be no video. So I don't know. We'll just see. I'll let you guys know how that's going. Updates on Facebook, actually, because I'll be playing a tournament. So I guess not like tons of updates, mind you, but once in a while, updates on Facebook, I think. I'm not even sure I'm playing yet, but I feel like I am. And if I do, then we'll see. So, as you may be noticing, some of you out there would be like, hey, what's with the Team Dignitas jersey? Yes, that's right. One of my first friends in the business were the fellows at Team Dignitas, and they were polite enough to give me a hoodie and jersey. So I actually wear the hoodie all the time, and broke out the jersey for this session here. Hopefully it'll give us a little bit of run good. And just so you know that I'm not like a poser, that's right. Let's see. Can you guys see that there? Yeah. That's right. I hope you guys can see that. Camera's, behind the back camera shot is very advanced. I don't know exactly, but hopefully you can see it. Jay Carver on the jersey. How cool is that? And my mom said I'd never have my name on a jersey. Screw you, Mom. I showed you. Huh? So here we go. Hopefully we'll run it up. There's 10-minute blinds in this tournament, about 60 players to start out. I don't think there's really anything else really worth discussing at this point. I would like to win. Is that worth discussing? Probably not. Got ourselves some Dear J Carvers here. Going to really be reading more of those lately. This week, I should say. We didn't do them for a while, but if you have a question for me, any kind of question, almost would prefer it to be not poker related, but poker related is okay too. DearJCarver@gmail.com. You can fire that away. And that would be sweet. It was a pretty fun weekend, all in all. I didn't really do... I had actually a really interesting week and didn't really get to talk to you guys about it because there wasn't really a run-it-up that like this for a little while now. Last Thursday, I had the honor and the privilege to go out to dinner with one of my mentors, Daniel Negreanu, and it was the first time that we had talked really in a long time, probably in about over a year, I would say. I think the last time that we really were able to really talk was at Bahamas last year, and I haven't really got to talk to him since I started running it up, and it was awesome. It was really awesome to talk to him and kind of ask questions that I never Daniel Daniel having ever looked out for any of my interests ever in my life is something that I'm so appreciative for. But I feel like he was kind of like Mr. Miyagi-esque in that I didn't really know I was learning for a lot of it, as I was impatiently waiting for him to be finished with his legion of fans. And I'd be like, all right, yeah, I'll take another picture. Yeah, of course. Yep, another picture. Through all the years that I traveled with him on the circuit and we hung out all the time, I learned a lot from him from osmosis and things. And it was great to see him and kind of just be like, oh, well, there's things have changed obviously a little bit, and I understand so much, and I had so many questions. It was great to have him kind of hang out and catch up for a night. So that was great. And UFC 170 was yesterday. That was Saturday, I suppose, for you people living in the future. And so that was interesting. The fight that I was most looking forward to was Rory Damien. If you saw the fight, I thought that was going to be the best fight, and it was the best. It was an amazing performance. I thought. I'm a big fan of both guys, and was happy to see Rory take it down. I enjoyed the whole card, actually. The whole main card I thought was pretty good. I got to hang out with another couple of good friends in the production business over the weekend. It was great. I was surprisingly social, didn't hate it. It worked out pretty well. Made it to Gold 5 this week in League of Legends. All good things all around. And now here we are, hopefully running up. Let's see what we can do. I can only do so much in the equation, but playing is, I guess, the first part of it. Not the worst flop for us here. This is a limped pot. Dr. Larry got us started out here with his big limp under the gun. Not going to fold just yet. I'm a little concerned, especially because there are two people behind us, but we have a backdoor flush draw, pair of nines. I didn't come all this way to fold the pair of nines and all of these other wonderful things that I have going on with this hand. Let's see a turn card. Hopefully dealer. Okay. Not necessarily the best of the turn cards, but I actually believe that he will at least kind of react straightforwardly to this. If he has a hand like 2 8s, I don't think he's going to bet this turn card. I would find that relatively hard to believe. We do make incorrect folds against 9 10, ace 10. There are hands we do make mistakes against, but I don't think there are a lot of them. And I think at this point, we just say, okay, you got this one, kid. He did limp pre-flop, so there's not really a ton of hands that we can reasonably assume he has that we can just call and just be like, oh, here we are on the river. River's a deuce. Call. There's not really a lot of great things that can happen for us, I think. And once he bets twice, I feel like I've learned enough to suspect that we are probably not ahead. Of course, anything is possible. Let's see what's possible in the realm of Dear J Carver letters today. Yes, that's right. Let's get started off here. Dear J Carver. That's right. We're doing it on the official Run It Up iPad, which I tried to show you guys before, but you can't really see. But it says Run It Up on the iPad. How can you beat that? Big fan of the show. Send me an iPad. Can't really say I don't do this for anything. I got free iPads out of it. That's a pretty good deal, all in all. Dear J. Carver, have you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm? I think you would enjoy the humor. Yes, I've been a huge fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think Larry David is genius. And very often when people say to me that they're like, oh, Jay Leno over there. No. I mean, I can understand this sometimes. And I don't even take it as like, he's obviously done a great job with his career. I think much closer to Larry David than Jay Leno. I'm just saying. If I had to pick one or the other, I much prefer Larry David. He's just right about everything. I totally understand. What are your favorite TV series? What are your guilty pleasures? We're still talking about TV here. Peace out, KC. Thanks, KC. So my favorite TV series, I've been really enjoying True Detective. That's as far as like TV shows that are currently on. True Detective has been amazing. They're just like a beautifully shot show, amazing writing. I've really been enjoying it. That's been a lot of fun. I've actually been watching a ton of like movies and TV lately, something that we actually haven't got a chance to talk about. I've made some cuts to things to gain time and to do things like, creative things like watching documentaries and movies and stuff. And in the past few weeks, I watched Pi, the original Pi, not like, I mean Life of Pi, I mean Real Pi. And thought that was great. And got there from watching The Fountain, which I also thought was really interesting. And for a film that has like a 50 on Metacritic, I really liked it. I thought it was amazing on a lot of levels. And really interesting, I thought. I don't want to spoil it, obviously, for anybody, but really good film if you're just looking for, like, one of those movies that you really want to just kind of, like, watch and try to, like, unravel and understand, and I thought it was really good. And, I mean, all of these kind of stem back from my Cloud Atlas kick from, like, 2 months ago when I watched that, because that kind of really impacted me. I've been reading the book. I'm 3/4 of the way through Cloud Atlas, the book. Really been enjoying that as well. I guess we're folding this. But I saw Orange is the New Black lately. I thought that was pretty good. I saw Blackfish on some of your guys' recommendations, actually. I saw that. That was pretty good. I've been seeing a lot of things lately. But as far as, like, favorite TV shows, Lifetime, it's easy. You go Wire, not necessarily in this order. Wire, The Shield for me is always going to be a favorite of mine because it was the first show that I watched every episode of on television from the debut to the premiere or to the finale. Every single episode I saw Tuesday nights on FX, 10 p.m. or whatever it was for the most part. I have a fondness for that show. Game of Thrones, big fan of. Sopranos, Breaking Bad. I mean, obviously, I have a gas mask signed by Aaron Paul. That's a pretty good sign that I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad. Let's see. I feel like that's pretty good. That's a pretty good sample right there of shows that I like. But yeah, I don't know. I love a good story. I'm a sucker for a good story. I don't know what to tell you in any format, really. What are your guilty pleasures? Well, I've talked about watching The Walking Dead very often, which I feel like could be classified as guilty pleasures because you're never quite proud of being like, yeah, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. Ugh. Everyone is. That's the reaction people give you. Go, oh, you're one of those people. I don't know. I just, I feel like, like I root it on every week. I just want it to do good. And I've talked about this before. I just want it to do well, but it just doesn't always do it. But I feel like it's done okay this season so far. It's like, but it kind of feels like Bambi just kind of like trying to find its legs and never quite necessarily doing it until Bambi falls over and gets eaten by zombies, I guess, is how this analogy ends. So there's that. And yeah, so I don't really think I have any other guilty pleasures as far as like television goes. Like I'm not like a Gossip Girl fanatic, or I don't even know if that show counts as guilty pleasure. But all right, well, thanks for your question, Casey. I feel like I did a pretty good job answering your question there. Dear Jay Carver, just watched the episode 'Twas the Nightmare Before. Okay. It made me think of one of my favorite movies of all time, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Have you ever seen this movie? I actually have not, although I've had several people in my life who are very big fans of this film. I've actually never seen it. So, sorry I can't answer the rest of your question, but I'm glad you enjoyed Run It Up. Thank you. Brain is void. All right, sure. Short questions. All right. No, Dear J. Carver, you lose a point. But okay, I will continue on. Does or will Ultimate Poker allow HUDs? No. Will? Probably not. I mean, maybe eventually, but probably not. What is your review on them? Well, I mean, I think they're fine if everyone, I think they're fine, I guess, there's no way you can outlaw all software use, you know what I mean? So you have to be okay with some of it. And the fact is, people's hand histories are their own and they can do what they want with them. And just some people are better at analyzing them than others and they use software to do it. So I feel like, you can't reasonably, you have to set a line somewhere. And at some point, you just have to embrace it as a consequence of online poker or as an associated consequence of online poker. So even if I would prefer a world that had no HUDs, no software, everyone just played just like this, well, minus the camera and the Dear J. Carver iPad, I guess, and the whole situation here. But everyone just played and that was it and that was how it went. That would be great. I think that would be a better poker world all in all. I think it would make the games better. It would be a more fair playing field. You would avoid some people that feel like the online whiz kids have some sort of a huge edge because they know all the math and numbers, and some guys just want to click buttons and have fun. I would prefer to always go towards the more fun, recreational kind of players. You always, in my mind, you always want to cater to the widest demographic, and that's certainly not the people that are like, oh, my VPIP is 92%, so this and that, and that's my online kid impression. Not the best. Not the best of my no spect impression. Yeah. Okay. Everyone needs to just calm the fuck down a little bit here. I think we're all getting a little too excited. Anyway, so I mean, I think it's just a thing of the times. I don't think you can have an opinion and be like, if only there were no HUDs. Yeah, I would like to do that, but that's just not really realistic. Does Nevada and New Jersey play each other, or are they separate? They are separate right now. I would love to see them all come together, and I feel like that will happen eventually, but for the time being, they are both separate prize pools. Thank you from Georgia, the dirty South. Yeah, okay. Jeff, peace. P.S. You're not my dad. I hope not. Just saying. Dear J. Carver, I really enjoyed the show today with Danielle. I like to see the different styles of play from other professionals. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'll actually be doing more videos like that because I found that to be a fun difference. I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep doing them live, but if I am going to do live shows, I will include hole cards because I feel like that made it so much better for YouTube. I think you guys enjoyed that a lot more who got to watch it on YouTube, and whether you saw it live and joined with us live or watched it later, I feel like it was pretty good either way. So, and also having a guest in studio removes me wanting to play music for, a 4-hour show or something like that. So I feel like that kind of fixes a lot of the problems we had with streams. So if there's anything else you guys have idea-wise to make those streams even better, definitely let me know either in the comments below on Facebook or in whatever, however you want to try. Feel free. Twitter, another good way, at Jason Somerville on Twitter. I probably respond to tweets more often than anything else because I actually see Twitter relatively often. But anyway, your question here is, I think it would be great to have each of the Ultimate Poker Pros sit in for a run-up session. Yeah, I like that idea. I definitely think that's possible. Not talking about all the time, but some of the time. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it with every single Ultimate Poker Pro, but I think I would have more on for sure if you guys enjoyed that. I think we'll see some sessions like that coming up in the future for sure. Dear J. Carver, the Moon Girl has a doppelganger. Her name is Kristen Wiig. They both look, act, and sound exactly the same. I feel like I should know who that is, but maybe, let's see here. Tell us, Internet. Let's see if this run-up warrior is correct or not. Okay, I know who you're talking about now. I don't know if they... Alright, in case you guys don't know, I'll pull... Oh, she's the girl from Bridesmaids. She is the main character from Bridesmaids, if you're not familiar. I don't know which of these pictures is best to show. Alright, how about this one? I think this seems like a fine picture to use as our demonstrative picture. Is this gonna work? I don't know if this is gonna just do it. Oh, look. Wow. Internet. Amazing things. I don't know. I don't say one of them look exactly the same. I mean, they're women. That much is true. But, yeah, I don't know about the rest of it. Dear J. Carver, Seeing as you are the love child of both the poker and the fighting worlds. Oh, what a proud mantle that is for me, by the way. And as I'm wearing the Team Dignitas jersey too, so it's like it's a yeah. I believe that is only right that you provide the Run-Up Legion with some footage of your old karate days. Oh my god. I don't know if you want that. At the very least, talk about it for a few minutes. Well, that I'll do. That's totally fine. I don't know about footage providing, though, because most of the footage I have is probably like... I mean, honestly, I wish I had more footage from it because, like, I wish I had more footage from my teaching days because I would love to watch some of my, like, old classes. If you guys don't know, I was involved with the martial arts for many years. I started when I was, like, 5 or 6 and started teaching when I was, like, 12, 13, somewhere like that. And at some point was given the 3 to 6 year old program. Maybe it was 3 to 5 year old. I was given like the 3 to 5 year old program at this karate school, which had like 8 kids. They were like, here, take this, do as you will. And I took it so seriously. I made all the phone calls. I ran almost every class, built the curriculum, ran the graduations, all for minimum wage, I'll point out. And I had so much fun with it, and I ran it up to 100 kids. Sensei Jason over here did his thing. That was I truly believe that was the beginning of my enjoyment of teaching. And having to communicate with 3 to 5 year olds makes it very easy to communicate ideas, I think, because you have to communicate to 3 year olds and keep them interested, and they're not going to be interested if you're just a boring droner type of a person. So I actually feel like that time in my life was quite formative for this YouTube stage of my life. But I don't really have much footage of the classes, and I think most of the footage I have are like from when I was even younger and I was like graduating. So there's like 7-year-old Jay Carver somewhere out there, with this, like really getting his aggro on. I think out there doing his punches, breaking some boards, maybe like a badass. I'm sure this all exists somewhere in my parents' house or in some other friends' houses, I'm sure. But I don't have any of it on me, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess, depending. I would provide it if I had it, but I don't think I have very much of it. Have you ever knocked someone out or been knocked out? I don't think I ever was knocked out, and I certainly don't recall ever knocking anybody out. I towards the end of my time at the karate school, when I was like, I guess 17 to 19, I started fighting, training a lot more seriously. MMA was becoming more of a popular thing, and we did more wrestling, jiu-jitsu. We did more like, current modern day martial arts. And at that stage, I actually fought relatively not super frequently or anything, and not like on a super high level, or of course, but I got thrown around pretty hard against like we fought with the adults. Once you were like 16 or whatever, it was the adults. It was you were fighting the 40-year-old men, and I got tossed around pretty hard there, but I don't think I ever got knocked out. I remember getting dropped on my head several times, but don't recall getting knocked out. Have I ever choked someone out or been choked out? No. I can't really imagine a situation where I'm just like, bitch, I'm gonna choke you out. Like, it wasn't like that. It was like much closer to like preschool than it was like killer. And in the times that it was like more killer, there was still no like, I did become associated with a karate school after my primary time was over. I did become associated with these friends who were like that hardcore, where it was like you're getting choked out, people were getting beat up really badly all the time. But I never fought with those guys. that was not for me. I'll be fine. I'll go like knit or hang out in like any other situation on my computer or something. So yeah, no choking out or tapping out. Or choking out the other person. What's your favorite submission? I don't know if I have a great one, but I do love the beautifully executed submissions. It's a beautiful thing when you see somebody just like wrap up some sort of an arm bar. It's great. I'm a big fan of jiu-jitsu. I don't think I have necessarily a submission. I was telling Martin Campman when I saw him that, by the way, we're just min-raise folding here. Don't have to do that though. Thank you. Need those chips. What's your favorite submission we're talking about? Oh yeah, right. So I was talking to Martin Kampman, and when I first saw him fight, he put on this amazing choke on somebody. I don't know if it was a like key lock or it was like a Darce choke, but it was like this amazing sort of like maneuver that I saw him put on somebody, and it was like the first like super slick submission that I had seen in person. Got a call here. I don't love it, but our hand is just too good to do anything besides call. Well, kind of unlucky, but hopefully, I mean, there's so many other hands he's going to shove, I think, there. Then we just happen to have a hand that I was never folding. Going to need a 7 or an ace, otherwise we're going to have some work to do. Yeah, so that kind of sucks, but my intention was to min-raise and just never fold. There are other options to just shove, in which case that's exactly the same, but I thought min-raising and calling it off was going to be a better play. It allows him to shove with like king-queen, king-jack, pocket pairs, worse aces, things like that. I think it's not got a huge value to it, but I feel like it's pretty much fine. So keep kicking ass, Carlos. Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate the email. Dear smiling Jay Carver. Maybe I won't be smiling. You don't know. Don't assume anything about my life. All right, I guess I'm smiling. Dear Jay Carver, indica or sativa? I don't like to be sleepy. Let's just put it that way. Sleepiness does me no good. If I want to go to sleep, why would I want to go to sleep? It doesn't make any sense. I've never in my life been like, man, I'm excited to go to sleep. I always want to stay up and do other things. I feel like, So I think that settles that. I think that settles that all the way, relatively clearly, I think. Dear J. Carverlito. J. Carverlito. That's right. That would be something if that was like the name of the show, or how the name that I went by, And that would be a little something different, It would be like, hola, yo como yo llama J. Carverito. I don't know. First of all, my Spanish is obviously terrible because, I haven't done Spanish in years. I was in 7th grade the last time I spoke a word of Spanish with any sense of, togetherness. It's me llamo, right? Me llamo J. Carverito. There we go. Mucho gusto. That's right. Really short question for you. Okay, I'll play along. Do you know that cashews come from a fruit? I didn't know that, but I feel like I heard that there is something weird about cashews that almonds are closer to peaches than, I don't know. I feel like anybody that has any kind of these sort of nuts and small snack or sort of trivia, I don't know. I feel like if this is the best you got, can't you really impress me with anything better than that? Is this really where we're at? I don't know. I'm just saying. You say no. Well, go tell your friends. You will sound really smart. Kind regards from the real land of the free. That's right. The Netherlands. Our friend Matthijs. Thank you. Appreciate the trivia. Hey, we got moved to a new table. Right into the big blind we go. That's great. Good news. I guess we'll have to win this hand here. Okay. Dear J. Carver. All right. I think this email is not meant for the show. Lots of words. Dear J. Carver. My wife and I are planning our first trip to Vegas this summer during the World Series of Poker. Neither of us have been, and I imagine there are a ton of cool things to see and do. Can you recommend any awesome activities if our first timers in Vegas? We love the outdoors and good food and both play poker. Thanks in advance, Parker. Well, thanks for hanging out, joining me for UFC 169, of course. One of our Run Up Warriors that won tickets to do that. I feel like I'm typically a really bad... I feel like I'm a really bad person to ask these questions to, because the kinds of things I like to do are not usually typically fun things to do. But I actually feel like I could give you some good recommendations. There's I'm not sure if it's a park. I believe it's a park actually, but there's a park called, I think it's either by Red Rock Casino or it's called Red Rock. I don't know exactly, but from somebody, many people have told me that the Red Rock Park, or the park at Red Rock, is like an amazing hiking thing. Actually, Dan O'Brien told me he did it. Negranu told me he did it and had a great time. I think Lucky Chewy told me he went and had a great time there. So it's like a beautiful, scenic sort of hike thing. So if you're into that, I've heard that's really awesome, and I actually kind of want to go myself at some point. As far as like activities and things, the Queen and 5, that's the hand we're doing battle with apparently. So with any luck, hopefully somebody will re-isolate this and we get heads up here with this overlay. Oh, okay. We got to just see it flop. Okay, I guess. We can't fold. We have, half our stack in the middle now. So no matter what happens, we can't fold. The best thing that could happen is that somebody shoves with like, a relatively like ace-4 kind of a hand, but looks like that's not going to happen. Don't think shoving makes any sense here. If we make a pair, we're probably all in. No pair. Okay, we get to play. We get to play another hand. All right. I guess if the turn card is like the 7 of spades, maybe we'd shove. I mean, queen would obviously be fine. A 5 would be kind of a weird situation, though you would imagine that we would probably have the best hand with the 5 if it checked through sometimes. But yeah. Well, I think we played that one pretty well, all in all. I think we played that one perfectly. Oh, just in time. Just in time. This is what you get when you wait, boys. Patience. You just fold and fold and fold. And finally you get rewarded with your 1.5 big blinds with them pocket rockets. Yes, that's right. Everybody's just like, oh, okay. They all know. They're just too good. Well, I think we're going to be calling here. That's right. Decisive check. The call button. That's the decisive check mark, I should say. Any other awesome activities? There's a lot of great places to eat around here, depending on what you like to eat. Lotus of Siam is really great. That place is like a really well recommended place if you're into Thai food. There's so many good places to eat here, though. So many good shows and things. I feel like you really can't go wrong. I don't really have any great recommendations besides Red Rock, which I've heard is great. That like Red Rock Park situation. All right, that's not the best turn card for us, but hey, maybe our Run It Up Warriors email will hold us through the double up here at aces. What can you say? We got in with aces pre-flop. We played our hand perfectly. Any good? Oh yeah. All right, ship the double up. That's right. That's right. Pay me, bitches. Give me the full claw. Full double up. Thank you. Full double up and some. What do we have, like 800 chips now? I don't want to round up or anything. Wow, almost 900 chips. Ballin'. This is how we ended up dressed like a leprechaun last time, as I recall. Okay, here we are next to the one and only B. Hanks. Gonna need to do some work here at this table. Blinds will be going up relatively shortly, I would imagine. They'll be going up to 1-2 with an ante, so at least the blinds will go up tremendously. I'm gonna just fold this here. We have like 2 hands to pick a hand better than 5-8 offsuit. I think we can do it. Yeah, I don't really have any great recommendations besides that for you. I mean, I'd really recommend as far as like poker rooms go. Bellagio is like the classic choice, but I don't think is like the best choice these days. The Aria poker room is great. I think besides that, the Wynn has a nice poker room. There's some good options, I guess, for poker stuff. Although I'm not really sure, depending on like what you want to play. I only like live tournaments, daily stuff. But all right. Question here. Dark Souls. I never hear you mention it, but I would be surprised if you didn't play it. You can't possibly like poker and The Walking Dead and not enjoy Dark Souls. That's a very good point, all in all. But I actually didn't play it as much as I would like to. I played Demon Souls and the Dark Souls. I played both of them, but I didn't play both of them nearly as much as I could have. I think the both times I had like a poker trip and I just kind of got lost in the shuffle here. Hey, let's see if we can't triple up. I'd like to make a pair. That would probably get us a long way there. Just saying. Not the best card in the deck for us. At least it went check. I guess that's good news. 7 of spades. That would be an unfortunate river card. Oh, I feel great now. 2,700 chips. 2,700 chips. Please, pay me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pay me my 2,700 chips. All right. We've recovered now. That's right. And you guys were ready to close out and go put on, Elmo or some shit. No Elmo just yet. King Jack suited. I'm here to stay, boys. This is not a King Jack sword. I'm not ready to just give it away. We just got it all. It's a bit of a tight fold, obviously, but what are we going to do? Call? Raise? I think you'll just get yourself in trouble here. I think first position under the gun, I think you just say, okay. And Dark Souls 2 is out next month. Well, I'd love to play Dark Souls 2 next month. That sounds like a great thing to do. All right. Dear J. Carver. Oh, we're on break. Okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes with more. Hopefully, we'll keep running it up. Another triple up way, and we'll be chip leader. No big deal. See you guys in a sec. All right, we are back. There are 42 players remaining, 68 total entrants, 7 spots paying. Going to be just folding here. Don't think there's anything else really we can do, unfortunately. I think price is great, but hands is not, and we need them. We need them chips. Can't be putting in 300 chips with the king and the 4. Not just yet. So, yeah, like I was saying before, I have a bunch of different ideas for stuff, for videos and things. And I'm kind of changing, we've done this show, obviously, for a little while now. And one of the things I had the most trouble with in, January and even, December, I think, I had a lot of trouble with, balancing the demands of everything with Ultimate Poker and the other things I have going on with my, desire to consume other people's content, and to for me that's a big part of my I just draw a lot of things. I draw a lot of thoughts and stuff out of other people's content and work and stuff. So I really tried in February to kind of balance that whole thing, and in doing so I have a bunch of cool ideas, I think. So I think that's the way we have to do this for long-term sustain. I need to be able to have time to dig into other people's work and materials. And I got to see so many cool different YouTube stuff in the last few weeks, and I haven't been as good with responding to Facebook and Twitter and stuff, but it's been great because I've been just I've had a good balance, I think. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys will like some of the stuff for this week. I'm going to do another show kind of like Danielle's, where we had somebody kind of guest run the Run Up bankroll. Going to try to do that one time a week. Going to try to do one hangout a week, and then a couple of longer sessions, because I kind of like the idea of doing 1 or 2 longer sessions a week. Not every single video, but a couple different videos. A couple of videos might be double episodes, like this tournament video. If this goes on for a full another hour or whatever, that's a lot of video. There's not going to be a video tomorrow if that happens. I'll use that time to do other things and let everybody catch up, But if this King Jack just gets us, then there'll be a video much more likely tomorrow. We'll just have to see. If it folds to us, I'm certainly not going to do anything besides go all in. I could also min-raise and, do all that. But I think just shoving is fine. We don't want to min-raise and have somebody be like, oh, I have ace-4, I'm all in, maybe he'll fold. And then we either make a mistake or, there's no perception of fold equity when we just shove. And worst case scenario, we get called. Run the cards. Run the cards, B. Hanks. I have king and jack. Oh, that's fine. We're going to need some pink cards here. Or a 9 would not be the worst either, I guess. Oh, no. How does this end this way? Oh, so sad. So sad. And you missed the Brent Hanks in the chat yelling, get him. Get him. Hold. And he was right. The chat box yelling did it. All right, well, we didn't run it up, but I feel like we made good decisions. It just didn't work out too well for us as tournament poker goes, I suppose. I mean, what was the hand we lost most of our chips on? We lost most of our chips in that spot where we had the ace-9 and raised and the guy had queens, but I think that hand is just totally fine. If we had ace-6, I'm not going to give them all, but I think we had a hand that was just good enough to play the way we did, where we min-raise and then call it off and assume he's jamming a lot, and I think he is. And then we recovered all the way, and then we lost that spot, which is tournament poker for you. We made the most of our situations and didn't get all the chips. The claw was not functional today as we've seen, has been a trend lately around here. The claw is not as good as it used to be. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know in the comments below. I know we didn't win, but it was still not bad. If you want to see more tournament content or anything particular, actually, fire off in the comments below and let me know what you guys would like to see more of. You know, your input does shape this show, obviously, as you guys, you know, whatever you guys want to see. If it's something you really like or really want to see more of, let me know. I listen to these things. I read every single comment. So fire off and make your voice heard. That's right, like a good legion should. And I guess actually a good legion would not make their voice heard. But our legion, we need vocal legionnaires. You know, that's the only way we can do it around here. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back probably with more tomorrow. I'll post on Facebook if something changes. If I do end up, it's like kind of a bit of a parlay. If I do end up playing this poker thing and then it ends up going really late, then there might not be a video. But if those things don't happen that way, then it's a very unlikely parlay. I'll post about it on Facebook and maybe I'll do like a live stream the day after or something. So we'll be back with more very soon. Thanks so much for watching as always, guys. I will see you back for more probably tomorrow. Peace.